What is an API and why does it matter to your business? Well, I'm going to answer those questions and more in this mini episode of Humanize Automation. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Jill Schiefelbein, your host, and I love taking time out from interviewing amazing guests to get to host these mini episodes that are kind of like mini tutorials. Maybe you can listen and tune in while you are driving from one place to another, or watch if you're more of the video type while you're sitting and waiting for an appointment. We designed this so it would be very short form content to get you some answers and ideas and strategies quickly. So today's episode is going to talk about API, Application Programming Interface, and what that actually means in terms of your business and why you should know about it. However, before I go into the complete nerd side of that, I want to zoom out and talk about why this matters in terms of your customer experience. Because you've heard me talk before, always say, don't implement a technology as a solution if you don't have a key strategy or a KPI, key performance indicator, or metric to tie it to. And a lot of people ask, well, where do I start to find those? You start by analyzing the touch points in your customer experience. So let's take a minute to review those quickly. Your CX, your customer experience, is divided into 4 stages. Now, within these stages, there can be dozens and dozens of touch points, but really you need to conceptualize how your customer is experiencing your brand, your business. And this can be an external customer, someone who buys from you, or an internal customer, an employee. The first stage is discovery, and this is all about the first impressions. How are people finding you? How are people introduced to you? What are the first impressions that they have from you? Touch points in this category could be your website, could be social media, could be word of mouth, could be a marketing campaign, could be a number of different touch points into how people discover you. The next stage is engagement. This is where you start to have two-way communication or one-on group communication, but you're actually having an engagement. You're having this exchange with the potential customer, with the potential hire, with the maybe new employee, if you're looking at this from an onboarding perspective. This is where, depending on the goal of your customer experience, are you selling a product, a service? Are you onboarding someone internally? Whatever it may be, that goal is going to guide the different engagements and touch points that you have. Let's say, for example, that you sell products. Maybe you sell some supplements through a line like Plexus. Well, if you sell supplements through a company and you are an authorized seller of those, you're building a team beneath you, what you'll want to do is have every touch point mapped out. So once someone does come into your orbit, once they are introduced to you, how do you communicate them? Is it through text? Is it through email? Do you have a phone call? Do you have a face-to-face meeting? Are you at a coffee shop? Are you at an event? All of these different things go into the touch points of the engagement up until they decide to purchase a product or become a seller underneath you as you are building your team out. In any of these cases, there are a number of different engagement touch points that you will have. And it will be different for if someone is going to be a direct customer of you or if they want to be part of your team and also sell the products. The next stage is execution. This is when you're delivering on that promise. So let's say you have a customer under you that is not building out a team, wants to order products from you. You support this Plexus line, and now these products need to be delivered. There are touch points that go into this experience. If you are a good business owner in this point, you don't just let the products get delivered with no follow-up. You have touch points that are set for this stage, that follow up that say, hey, your order is about to arrive. Get excited. Hey, you've got your order. Do you have any questions? You've been using this for 1 week. You've been using this for 30 days. Whatever those touch points are, you should have those in place and be able to identify them. And then, of course, your ongoing relationship continuation. How are you managing those touch points? In the example of selling Plexus supplements that I'm using specifically for this example, not sponsored by them, just something that I personally use and something that I know a lot of people have products that they sell. You have this ongoing relationship. So do you have monthly recurring orders? Do you have people signed up for a subscription? Do you have other products that you want to offer? All of these things go into the continuation phase. And if it's something new and they need to have a discussion, boom, you go back into that engagement stage, getting them introduced to the product, to the service, and then of course going to delivery and rinse and repeat. Why I tell you this is because in these 4 stages of your customer experience, it is so important to know what are the touch points in each and every one of these stages along the way. Because when you know those, that's when you can start to identify which of those touch points may be ripe as an opportunity for automation, and even more so in that, a humanized automation where you can let someone feel more personal experiences, more personalized service, more customized recommendations. So how do we do that then? How do we take the data that we have in one area about our customers and make these automations, make these touch points, make their customer experience better? Well, one of the things that you can look for is other systems that have APIs, application programming interfaces that can connect to yours. Let me break down exactly what I mean. I like to call APIs kind of the computer handshake. You have a system over here, you have a system over here. How do they shake hands and let the data go from one system to another? That's a simplified way to look at it, but I hope it helps you understand a little better that it's basically how can we program one software and connect it to another software and get these things connected. The most well-known and probably most robust tool on the market right now, Zapier, potato, is out there that you can use to create some of these integrations for yourself. But I want to give you an example of, an API, a computer handshake in action, and how it can relate to a single touch point in your customer experience. And of course, I'm going to do this with a whole host of different automation and AI tools. So let's say, again, you have these supplements that you are selling. And you also decide, because you know that in your business, your identity, your story, your brand, your likeness makes a difference. You've decided to get a custom avatar of yourself that can communicate on your behalf and at scale. So you now have an avatar that can produce videos if it's fed a script. You have products that are being sold, and you have customers, and you also have emails that are going out to these customers or text messages. How do you make them all fit together? Well, that's by connecting APIs. So here's how it looks like. And if you are a visual learner, this is one where you'll want to go and watch the video if you are listening only, because this slide will lay it out. And if you're watching, let's get going. All right. So let's say a purchase is made by the customer. So let's say I just got introduced to these products. Again, I'll continue to use Plexus as an example. And I really love the BioCleanse product. So I'm like, yes, purchase is made by customer. I work with a woman named Allison who introduced me to these. So I'm going to use her name and my name, of course, as a real customer, because I am in this process, just to make it a little more human. So I have purchased something from Allison. Allison is my representative, my business owner that I work with if I want to get these things. And when a purchase is made, what happens is a customer data profile is created. Now, depending on what you're selling, there may be a system already set up for this, or you've created your own system for this. No matter what, there is some type of data on me now created in a system after that purchase is made. A receipt then is also generated. It may be through the same system or a different system. That's up to you and your business. So we know there's a purchase, we know who the customer is, and we know we've generated a receipt or confirmation in some way, shape, or form. But you're a business owner, you're savvy, you know that personal experiences matter. So what you want to do is make sure that when someone gets this receipt, it's not just this automated confirmation your order was received, which is the status quo. You want to step it up a notch. You want to actually add a personalized video that goes out to this person so that, again, your presence as their representative is reinforced, and they're also getting valuable information. So bam, receipt generated. You then, with this, have your CRM, your customer relationship management software, updated that has all of this information. Now, again, depending on your business model, your customer data profile may be in an e-commerce system, or it may already be in your CRM. Either or, those are the different places where data is stored. And if they're not one and the same, they'll need to be talking to each other in some way. Once that entry is updated, we can get this data transferred into a template or a script. So let's say, for example, Allison, who has been working with this brand for a while and has many personal stories, knows the strength of each and every product. She knows what she loves. She knows what's not worked for her, but has worked for other people. So she can now go and think to herself, all right, if Jill buys BioCleanse, here's a story I want to connect with that. You template that out in a script. My data transfers over. The information of the product that I bought transfers over. Those merge in a script that is pre-planned, and then it's delivered to an application. In this case, of course, you all know I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Render, and our application does this, where bam, that script automatically through APIs gets created and generates a video. Again, once you set these scripts up and once you connect these systems, there is no work on your behalf. Once that video is generated, the video link then passes back through that computer handshake to the CRM or to the point of sale, wherever that data is that got transferred initially. Then when that entry is updated, bam, you pair that data with the receipt, and now Jill is receiving a personalized confirmation receipt directly from Allison with a video that is talking directly to her, personalized with her name, with the product she bought, and even an intimate personal story about Allison's experience with the product, or maybe one of her other clients' experience with the product. And of course, saying what the next touch point's going to be. That's a lot nicer than a basic auto-generated receipt, right? That is the power of humanizing automation. And this can happen when your systems can talk to other systems and your data can transfer seamlessly. Whether you're selling a product like the example that I use in this mini episode, or you have a service that you are offering to people, or you are maybe onboarding your clients, in any of these situations, the first thing is understanding your customer's experience from discovery, engagement, execution to continuation, and then knowing the touch points that are in there. Once you know the touch points that are there that you want to improve, and I always tell people, look for where you have friction or frustration or attrition, that drop off in your CX lifecycle, those are ripe for humanized automations. Those are ripe for opportunities to transform how you're having that touch point, how you are communicating to your customer, and the experience that you're providing for them. As always, if you have any questions about this or any of the other episodes, please feel free to reach out. I love talking about how we can use technology to make us more human and create better experiences for our customers. And I'm so glad that you tuned in for this mini episode.